can never get enough practice of these types of problems. Here we go again. 5x times x is 5x squared. 5x times 8 is positive 40x. Negative 1 times x is negative x, and negative 1 times 8 is negative 8. Notice I didn't draw my little loops this time. Combine together the middle terms and we get 5x squared plus 39x minus 8 as the product. In this next problem we have something a little bit different showing up. Notice we have what appears to almost be the same thing within each of these terms. When you have the same thing except for the sign being different, those are known as conjugates. Basically we have a minus b times a plus b, and something happens when this occurs. Notice what we're going to do. We're going to multiply the first part of our FOIL together, first at 4x times 4x, making 16x squared. And then the outer terms, 4x times positive 7 is a positive 28x, and the inner, negative 7 times 4x is negative 28x, followed by the last term, negative 7 times positive 7, which is negative 49. Notice how these middle terms are opposites of each other and can be canceled, leaving just 16x squared minus 49. Basically, instead of foiling, we are just fulling. We're leaving out the oi, the outer and the inner terms there, and it turns out that whenever you are multiplying conjugates together, you can just multiply the first and last terms together. Just be careful that you have that minus sign in the middle. This next problem contains no coefficients, but that's no problem. We'll still deal with this normally. We have a times c, outer, plus a times d, inner, plus b times c, last, plus b times d. This time we have no like terms that can be combined together, so there will just be 4 terms in our product. The acronym FOIL only works when you're multiplying a binomial by a binomial. In this case we have a trinomial, so that word FOIL or acronym will not work. We really do have to think of this as a super distribution problem where 3x gets multiplied by each term in the second parentheses, giving us 3x to the third plus 12x squared minus 21x, and then we need to take the negative 2 from the first parentheses and multiply it by each term in the second parentheses. Now rather than writing these next 3 products off to the right, I like to align like terms. Negative 2 times x squared is negative 2x squared, and I like to line it up under my other x squared term. And negative 2 times positive 4x makes minus 8x. Negative 2 times negative 7 is positive 14. And that helps me to be able to just have my like terms already grouped for purposes of addition. We now have 3x cubed plus 10x squared minus 29x plus 14 as the product. Now we are back to binomial times binomial. We begin with 5x times 3x, which is 15x squared. We then have 5x times negative 2, making minus 10x. We begin the second distribution, 7 times 3x, that is 21x, and 7 times negative 2 makes negative 14. Combining these middle terms together, we have 15x squared plus 11x minus 14. It is a common mistake for people to make mistakes when we have this quantity squared, because they look at problem number 13 and they say, I can bring in and square each term inside on number 13 to get 9x to the 4th, y to the 8th, actually squaring the 3 and multiplying these exponents. This showering in of the exponent, however, does not work when you have a minus sign inside or a plus sign inside your binomial parentheses. You need to treat this instead as 3x minus 2 times 3x minus 2. This is not conjugates because we have the same sign in each parentheses. The first term of FOIL would give us 9x squared. Outer would be minus 6x. Inner again would be minus 6x. And the last term would be plus 4. And combining these middle terms together, we would have 9x squared minus 12x plus 4. But you can probably figure what a lot of people do mistakenly is they bring that outer square in and they say, oh, square the 3x, there's my 9x squared. They square the minus 2 to get the positive 4, and they miss those middle terms of FOIL. So please, when you see a binomial being squared, write it out as two parentheses and do the actual FOIL so that you don't fall into that trap.